Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into that explosive England versus Argentina World Cup semifinal. Look, if you watched it, you know it was absolute chaos. So, what we're going to do is separate all those fiery emotions from the cold, hard tactical facts and really break down exactly how a team that was literally minutes away from ending 60 years of heartbreak just watched it all fall apart.
Less a football match than a bar fight with a scoreboard attached. Honestly, to understand exactly what happened down in Atlanta, we have to start by acknowledging those final 7 brutal minutes, where a 60-year dream just detonated for England. It was visceral. And that quote really captures the mood inside that stadium perfectly.
Section 1. Rivalry renewed. Decades of bad blood.
Because, guys, this is a rivalry completely soaked in decades of bad blood. We're talking the shadow of the Falklands in 1982, Maradona's infamous Hand of God in '86, and of course, David Beckham's red card in 1998. So when these two nations clashed in that sweltering Atlanta atmosphere, all of this heavy history collided at once. It immediately turned into a war. And the sheer carnage of that first half, well, it can be summed up by just one single number: 19. Think about that, an astonishing 19 fouls in just 45 minutes of football. Argentina came out with their teeth bared, provoking the English players and basically utilizing every single bit of the dark arts they perfected over generations.
Section 2. Referee controversy. A chaotic powder keg.
Now, social media exploded in real time during this match, and for good reason. Right in the early minutes, Argentina's Enzo Fernandez caught Elliot Anderson with a clear elbow and somehow completely avoided a card. Yet the very first booking of this absolute street brawl went to England. Specifically, Anderson got yellow carded for a foul on Lionel Messi. You can imagine the reaction. So naturally, a massive question started popping up everywhere. Was the match fixed? Listen, FIFA had appointed American referee Ismail Elfath, an official under whom Messi had literally never lost a match. So fans were screaming conspiracy before a ball was even kicked. But as we unpack things in this explainer, you're going to see that the analytical reality is much more grounded than some wild FIFA script. As former head of referees Keith Hackett pointed out, Elfath simply failed to stamp his authority on this game. The absolutely crucial point here is that this wasn't some calculated fix. Instead, what we saw was a lenient referee, a guy famous for keeping his cards in his pocket, getting completely swallowed alive by a hate-fueled powder keg of a match. Section 3. Tactical surrender. Sitting on a lead. So let's look at the actual football, because in the 55th minute, England's strategy actually paid off beautifully. Morgan Rogers whipped in this absolute peach of a cross from the right, and Anthony Gordon arrived at the far post to finish it. Boom! 1-0 England. For about half an hour there, they were firmly in control. They were just 30 minutes away from reaching the World Cup final. But then, manager Thomas Tuchel made a decision that is going to haunt English football for a very, very long time. He pulled his attackers. He takes off his goal scorer, Gordon, throws on defenders like Ezri Konsa and Dan Burn, and shifts to a back 5 just to sit on the lead. In doing so, he completely drained his own team's counterattacking pace. And the true cost of that shift comes down to one absolutely damning statistic: 12%. In the 37 minutes between Gordon's goal and the moment it all fell apart, England had just 12% possession. It gets worse. They took 0 shots after the 78th minute. They essentially just stopped playing football altogether.
Section 4. Inevitable collapse. Tactical suicide.
The contrasting managerial mindsets during that crucial window really sealed the game. While Tuchel committed what was essentially tactical suicide by breaking up his own team's attack and retreating, Argentina's Lionel Scaloni ruthlessly smelled blood. He chased the game. He outthought Tuchel completely, throwing on elite striker Lautaro Martinez in the 81st minute. And that immense pressure finally burst the dam. Martinez comes on in the 81st. Just 4 minutes later, in the 85th, Messi sets up Enzo Fernandez to tie it. And then, miraculously, in the 92nd minute, Messi floats a pass to the back post to feed Martinez for the winner deep into stoppage time. There was blood in the water, and we went for it. Those chilling post-match words from Scaloni perfectly capture Argentina's relentless, cutthroat mentality. And on the flip side, they brutally expose England's tragic inability to hold their nerve when the pressure peaks.
Section 5. Familiar ghost.
repeating pattern.
Because here's the thing, this collapse wasn't a one-off. The historical statistics are staggering. In the entire 21st century, only 2 teams have scored first in a World Cup semifinal and gone on to lose the match. And it's been England both times. They led Croatia in 2018 and lost. They led Italy in the Euro 2020 final and lost. And now, against Argentina, they've done it yet again. Now, to be totally fair here, there are genuine physical reasons for this collapse. There was undeniable fatigue. This squad came off grueling European club seasons, they barely survived the altitude against Mexico, played sweltering extra time against Norway, and added extra travel on themselves by choosing a Kansas City base camp. By those final minutes, they literally had 0 legs left to press or counter. But look, fatigue only explains so much. The deeper issue remains this profound glass ceiling. England has been knocked out by the highest-ranked team they faced in 7 of the last 8 World Cups. It's a mental block, right? It's an absolute inability to control the midfield and dictate the game in the biggest moments against elite opposition. Section 6. The final awaits. A monster clash. Meanwhile, Argentina has shown the world exactly why they are so incredibly dangerous. They have a terrifying comeback streak going. They conceded first to Cape Verde and won. Conceded 2 to Egypt and won. Trailed England with 5 minutes left and won. This is a team with a level of composure that simply refuses to believe it's beaten. And all of this sets up an absolute monster of a clash for the final. On one side, you have Argentina with their bottomless experience and Messi's sheer genius. On the other, they're going up against a magnificent Spain side that is the reigning Euro champion and hasn't been beaten in 37 matches. Spain presents a completely different class of problem for Lionel Messi.
So, the stage is officially set. But as we wrap up this explainer, we have to bring it back to our core question. For England, we want to leave you with this final thought to debate. Were they robbed by a lenient referee? Were they betrayed by their manager's tactical fear? Or were they simply beaten by a braver, better team on the night? Let's discuss it in the comments below. Because, folks, the history books are already written.